Did you know that we actually have 7 senses and not 5? I know, big news, right? And do you know that those senses, the input that we receive or we are not receiving, have a major influence in our behavior? Now just imagine the behavior of your children, your patients, your students. For this, I would like you to close your eyes and just imagine that you are driving in a storm. It is raining a lot and you can barely see. Your body gets triggered and alarm, very alert to the environment, and I believe you have some fear because you are driving under those conditions. Even though your windshield is working like crazy, trying to clean this water or whatever is in front of you so you can see better, it's not working. Now just imagine that you are driving under regular conditions of very nice weather and you are just chill out, just maybe even checking your cell phone. You shouldn't be doing that, but you might be doing that. And you feel like the best driver around because you trust that whatever you are doing, there is nothing to make you feel triggered or make you feel you are in danger. You feel good about what you're doing. And that's exactly what happens to your children's, patients, students' nervous system. If they are feeling triggered, alert, in danger all the time, or in different situations, they actually get protective because that's exactly what you should be feeling if you are driving in a storm, right? Sensory system is what helps us experience the sensations and inputs we receive in the environment we live in the world we live in. That's why it's called sensory processing, because it processes the input through the different senses that we have. 2 of those senses that people don't talk a lot about, they are actually really important and they can make our children feel regulated or dysregulated really quickly. So just imagine that we have different measurements, different cup sizes, if you will, for the senses. And it's very particular. Each person can have variations in the cups, in these sizes, and it's important to observe and respect. If the cup's too tiny, it means the child cannot receive a lot of sensation, otherwise the cup will overflow and result in tantrums, a child that's very stressed out and very sensitive. On the other hand, a big cup can and need to fill up with this sensation to feel good in her body. So the child with a tiny cup is avoiding the sensation and the child with the big cup is seeking the sensation. So let's say for the auditory system, she needs to listen to loud music, she speaks loudly until she feels good in her body that she was able to conquer the cup. And the tiny cup, on the other hand, she can't listen to loud music. It's too much for her to bear. You need to speak very softly with this child. Otherwise, her cup will overflow. The vestibular system, our balance center, is responsible for receiving information regarding our body movement in space. It's all about movement and balance. So think about the child in the playground. She loves to play in the swing. You may like to play a lot in an amusement park. I can't. My vestibular cup's too tiny. I just feel dizzy and nauseous, and I avoid those sensations. And we have children that avoid and children that seek this sensation. The receptors for this particular sense, They are inside our ears, deep down in our ear. The amount of liquid we have here inside our ears change the position according to the movement we are doing. That's why some people feel dizzy when reading the car. Now, the proprioception. The proprioception system informs our body where it is positioned in space. So it is regarding to pressure, jumping, walking. You can feel every time you walk, you run, you jump, you actually can feel in your articulations this pressure. Or when you eat something with texture, you can feel, you know where your tongue is. When you are climbing up the stairs, you know where your body is because you can feel in your joints. Your body is informing you. And you might be asking, why are we not all the same? Why some people have big cups, some people have small cups? It actually has to do with our experiences. Since conception, gestation, birth. Birth is actually the first major sensory experience a child goes through. A lot happens during birth. And depending on the circumstances, during gestation, birth, during childhood, and even today as adults, our nervous system produces some imprints regarding to the experiences that we received and were not pleasurable to us, or made us feel in danger, put us in an alert state, and then our cups readjust. And then we have different levels of these readjustments. Some people just have sensory differences. Some have tiny cups, big cups, and then we have to observe and respect each other. There's also sensory processing disorder. It is when the brain has some trouble receiving and processing some information through the senses. Think about children with ADHD, autism, Down syndrome. Those children actually readjust their bodies in a way to protect themselves. They are really ready to fight. They are fighters because they are just alert. If something happens, they are ready. So just a noise, some light in the bedroom, anything that happens in school, in their houses, in the office, anything can be a trigger to these children with disorders, or even some children with sensory differences, that they need to fight because their body readjusts in a way to protect them from past events that have once triggered the nervous system. The problem is actually the environment those children live in. Their schools, their pediatrician offices, their houses, their parents sometimes just don't understand, just don't respect, or just they don't care sometimes. And those children are not living the best life that they can because we are not helping them to. So it's really important that we work in an interdisciplinary way, because that's not just the OT jobs. The OT will help to readjust the nervous system again and regulate those sensory cups. But the child needs the support of a psychologist, of a therapist sometimes, because they need to figure out what event in the past actually started all this, so they can create a new ending and make the child integrate this past experience and live their full potential today. But we also need help from the teachers, from pediatricians, and all other health professionals that see these children, because they need to be able to support the child through this treatment if necessary. I think our goal as health professionals is to help the child live their full potential and help her body not to feel attacked anymore, because all those behaviors that we are trying to stop at all costs, sleep training, or the child is not eating well, or the child is not behaving well. They are actually just symptoms. We have to look really deep down and have a full network support of interdisciplinary professionals to help children thrive.